Time to have some damn breakfast, boy. We're going to get into some reviews today, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just check my mail and WoW. And then we are going to get into some reviewing. Take some of these napkins to take the breakfast grease burden off my playmat. Alright. We're gonna get into it today, ladies and gents. Wait, did I just see... What? Hold on, let me see something. Okay, no, I thought I saw something else I did. Give me just a second here, folks. Today we're going to be starting with a review that has been requested by my chat time too many, and it is that of the game Star Citizen. So we shall see how that goes. Okay. I'm going to quickly mute my WoW because we do not want that to be interfering with our reviewing. And then I think the best way to do this would be to... How do we do this without being too problematic? Okay, so I'm going to go here. Let me grab my dice real quick. Alright, here's what we're going to do. I think the best way to do it would be to take this right here. Put it here. I also need to add a... my stream manager is not currently up. Let's do that. What up, Z? What up, boy? We're gonna hit a little Star Citizen review today. Ricardo Flores, hello. How you doing, brother? Maybe if I put it like right here. Maybe if I do it like this. I'm going to be having some breakfast, you know, the standard issue BK, bacon, egg, and cheese croissant, faux brekkie. But, where was that video I just saw? Right there. It's 5 months ago. So let's go ahead and... hit that button. There's a video from 5 months ago called What is Star Citizen and What Can You Currently Do in It? Show again, where is that island I made yesterday? 1.4 bill from Belia AFK fishing. That sounds like a good night of AFK fishing, man. So it's Ostra Island and Taramura Island right here. This is all I got from yesterday, bro. Honestly, that's all I got. There's not a whole lot in there. And this was from like maybe like 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. That's all I got. Sometimes you get better, but you do have a chance of like to get the 3 bill fish here. So there is that. All right, cool. Hold on, guys. 1 second. 1 second. My orc just arrived to Ogrema, Lokta, Olga, Zug Zug. All of the horde sayings. I just need to sell some stuff. I made 12 gold, bro. That's kind of baller. Let me sell this. And then we're going to get into the Star Citizen review because everybody keeps sweating this game, talking about this is the game, bro. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about right now? What? But needless to say, we're going to find out if it's the game or if it's not the game. Because we're in it. Just selling all this crap real quick, bro. Because we need to make them dollar billions, you know. Yep, I need to sell this crap and that crap too. Alright, cool. I am good to log out of this game. Goodbye. From what I heard, Star Citizen is just a tech demo. I've heard it's a giant cash grab. Let's see. Can I make this bigger? Like, yeah, maybe if I make it like that. Is that good enough for you guys? I don't know what the rules are, bro. Can I just like react to this game while I have BDO in the background and be in the BDO category, or does the BDO need to be visible? I don't understand the thing with it. I think it needs to be visible. Does it maybe? So if I put it like right there, we'll be vibing. And you guys can see the video and then stare at the ocean. I don't know what the etiquette is, bro. I don't know if React people are just like changing categories. I don't know if anybody cares, if somebody's going to cry about it, bro. Stop being a damn weenie. I think I should just be able to go live and that's it, bro. And do whatever the hell I want with my life. 'Cause freedom, baby. But let's take a look at this. You know what, bro? I'm just going to do what I do, bro. We're going to do it like this. Play with the boy.
Star Citizen is an immersive first-person space sim.
Is audio good? You guys hear good?
You've ever...
Yes,
okay,
no?
hold on. It's not that deep. Star Citizen is certainly a unique game, but instead of giving you an ambiguous marketing pitch, kind of like their video a couple weeks ago, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into what actually makes the game the game. Because while it's mostly known for its long development cycle, its ardent fan base, and its ship sales, and its ship sale whales, there's actually a lot going on here. And I spent a lot of time reading the design documents, playing the actual game, and
yeah, Benjis.
So I figured I could give...
So that's what I've heard. I've heard the game is a scam from a lot of people in chat, except 2 people, Kraken and Abu. They seem to love the game and were hell-bent on me reviewing this game and looking at this video. But everybody else says that they have a $50,000 starting pack. What? What? Whoa. Pay to win to a whole nother level. Apparently you can drop like $200,000 in this game. But the caveat is that if you decide to leave or to quit the game, that you can sell those things. So there's a free trade market from what I understand, kind of like Counter-Strike skins, which I am all for. Whenever I make an MMORPG, I am going to make something so that you can sell items in the game on the official website legally, and currency will be exchanged back and forth, being handled by the company as the middleman, you know? Non-refundable transactions and stuff like that, so that there is an exchange of what is called intangible goods. That is pretty much all of your video game assets. I very much like a free market in that. And a marketplace where you can post your skins and everybody that's on the game can go in there and search specific things and buy stuff from you, and the market drives itself based on demand. Very much so. Would like something like that. But $200,000 is crazy. So let's check it out.
About an 18-minute pitch on what the game kind of is right now in 2025. And if you generally want to learn more about the game, I like to think this is a pretty decent place to do so. Hopefully you feel the same by the end of the video and consider checking it out again. Otherwise, here is what Star Citizen is in 2025. Thank you for coming to my Tomato Talk. Let's get one thing straight before we get started, because I already know you're seeing it in the comments. Star Citizen is an alpha state space MMO project that has really only recently started.
All right. First impression. Diesel, is this BDO? Z said yes. Look, brother, I'm fishing right here, bro. I'm fishing right here. You want to stare at the ocean or you want a Star Citizen review? All right? I swear with these people, bro. Anyway, big love, man. Just join us. Check it out. We're looking at a new game. I'm seeing it for the first time. You're seeing it for the first time. Most people talk crap about this game. We can talk crap about it together. Get on the Magic School Bus and join us. And thank you for the follow. That's big love, brother. Appreciate you. First thing I got to say, for a game that's selling $200,000 ships, that's US dollars, by the way. What the fruit and potatoes is this, bro? What? Look at the little squares, bro. It says power, weapon, THR, which I'm guessing means thrust, speed, proximity, hit. Like, bro, this is so bad. This is so bad. Like, get your game up, dude. Go hit up Destiny. Be like, yo, we're selling $200,000 ships. Let us borrow some graphics. The game, try EVE Online. It's so confusing. That's what I hear. I hear EVE Online is an absolute nightmare to understand. But once you do, I hear it's really wonderful. A lot of people like it. To no surprise, the people that I know like EVE Online also like BDO, which is an also very confusing game. I have a question about node investment that I'm going to bring up a little later, because after investing all of my energy to level nodes to 20 and being told that I'm a moron and that that's doing nothing for me, I was told to invest in Honglin Base, and then recently I was told that I invested in the wrong node for Honglin Base. So I pretty much hate the energy investment system in BDO as a whole. Annabelle's price, I don't know. I heard this game is in what is called alpha stage. I thought it was in beta. Apparently it's an alpha, but apparently it has been trapped in alpha for 15 years, and people have been investing egregious amounts of money. The game has raised over $1 billion, and this is the graphic interface for the inside of your ship. There's no way. There's no way. This is crazy.
Showing more direction and is suffering from quite a few significant bugs and generally unstable performance. While nothing plays like the trailers, this game can have some genuinely janky moments that will catch you completely off guard if you go into it expecting a completed game. Just a heads up. This is due to years of neglect in favor of Squadron 42, a focus on building out core tech before focusing on eliminating deeply rooted bugs, and the excuse that the game is still in alpha. We're finally...
Brother, that said 4.0, bro. Timeout. Oh, man. Abu and Kraken are going to hate this review.
Bugs and the
4.0. This is the 4th alpha. We haven't even made it to beta yet. $1 billion later. And this game has been in production for 15 years, bro. What is happening? Nodes, energy are overhyped, to be honest. If you want to AFK play the game, then sure. But I personally just turn BDO off when I'm not playing it. Helps remind me it's just a game. That is a good way to look at it, Benji's. I like to AFK fish because I probably made like 200, 300 bill AFK fishing. My best night I made like 13 bill AFK fishing. I got really lucky. So it's nice, but it does make it feel like work, and that doesn't feel nice. I heard it was a Kickstarter. It made 2.1 million. Well, so far, Dizo, they say this has garnered $1 billion already with a B, like over 1,000 million. I'm not sure if you meant about Eve. I know Eve's been around for a long time, but there's a new version of Eve that's in the other games section of my Discord that Danielle's been posting a lot, that I eventually got to get to reviewing too. But this is absolutely atrocious so far. A bunch of bugs. The graphics are subpar. I don't know what's going on with this, but we're going to figure it out.
Use that the game is still in alpha. We're finally on our way to getting past all these problems. I'll point you towards my video last week to learn more about that, but that's the fact of it. Star Citizen is still, yes, at almost 12 years from being announced, not a stable experience, not offering a full game progression, and still
okay, so 12 years, not 15.
Testing, and somehow it's still unmatched in its offerings. Let's talk about what those are. Each game instance is hosted for 500 to 600 players per shard right now. Generally, there are about 10 servers covering each shard. 2 star systems that combined are pretty big. Like, I asked ChatGPT to calculate the area based on the AU diameters we know in-game, and it came out to 2.14 septillion square meters, or 2,140 trillion square meters. Chatty told me we would be informing you of how thick the system is. And like a real one, said smash that like button faster than a Cutlass Black jumps into Quantum. No, but really. So it is a big game, and while not completely filled just yet, what is filling it is pretty interesting. I mentioned earlier that there are 10 servers per shard. What this means is that in each star system, the game is split up into servers that handle everything in their area, while informing every other server everywhere else in the game of what's happening in its dedicated space. It's a complicated system, and on top of that, it tracks every object in the game into various levels.
I think I understand why the space games are the largest games and why they go so freaking hard, dude. Because they're games about a legitimate thing. Like the concept for the game is actual space, which is like, I took a class on this and it was terrifying to find out how many millions and billions of galaxies and planets and everything. Like you have the Earth, and you have the other planets, and you have, the solar system. Then you have, like, when you make it up to the Milky Way galaxy, it gets really scary. And then it's like, oh, that's a drop in the bucket to the vast ocean that is space. So they try to mimic that with these games, and it just becomes insane. Like, these games are almost scaled insanely large, and to have all of this stuff communicating with one another, it's just, the scale of the project is ridiculous. But I do think that there is a future for games like this, and I honestly think that this is the future of gaming. Like, now looking at it and thinking about it from their mindset, their perspective, I think this is the future of gaming. And why that is because computing is reaching an all-time high, and AI specifically is pushing computing to a never before achieved place, right? So they're going to continue building these gigafactories, right? That are just like these insane things of outputting, programming capability and things like that for AI. I think eventually AI is going to run video games, and it will just endlessly build at the demand of the players. And it will learn to understand and read combat mechanics and things like this, and it will continue to drop another expansion, to drop another iteration, to drop another thing, where based on how players develop and how good they are, how sweaty they become, it will cater experiences in the game to them and make things progressively more difficult at the appropriate scaling. So I think that AI and video games will become one, and that based on the size of all of this stuff, right? Games like GTA 6 or something that have an immense budget, a ludicrous fan base, and can just go absolutely ham, will eventually create worlds that don't end. Worlds that are just like, the game just keeps going. You can just keep walking, you know, it's just endless planets and stuff constantly being built up, new items being made, new item effects, every combination and existence of everything. I think that's the future. Space game is so heavy. Even Warframe have small space content. It's so heavy already. I meant heavy for the maker and the server. Yeah, I agree, Julius. But I think that's where these gigafactories for like AI are going to come into play. That's why I think that they're trying to make these games so large on such a great scale that you almost need AI in order to be able to output what a team of 500 programmers would be outputting very quickly. All automated, you know? So I think the better we get at AI, the crazier the future of gaming is going to get, and eventually we're going to be at a place that we don't even understand we're at. And it's going to get dangerous. It's going to get like Shangri-La Frontier, and it's going to get like Sword Art Online, where they're going to put, you know, full submersive things connected to people's central nervous systems and brains, and it could go bad, you know? But I think it'll create the craziest experience ever. I think that with releases like them saying that Neuralink is going to cure blindness in the next 5 to 12 months, with them saying that they're going to implant this chip in the brain and that they'll make it so that the eyes can see again from a blind person that's been blind their whole life. You already have people that can control computers and do things with their eyes alone that have a Neuralink, that are paralyzed and stuff like that are now able to work a remote job, make a living for themselves and all these things because of the Neuralink. I think with developments like that, it's not a far stretch to think that VR headsets that can link to the body's neurological system will be a thing of the future. And that when you take a sip of water in a video game, it will stimulate the brain in a way where you can taste it. And it'll taste different for different people. Like my favorite water, as everyone that watches me on stream knows, is Zephyr Hills. I always drink Zephyr Hills, my favorite water. So, or spring water in general. I like spring water. I don't like any of that other water. I don't like distilled. I don't like that smart water. None of that stuff. A topic tangent going on. Let me see. From what I know, Elite Danger is the spiritual predecessor of this game. Never heard Elite Danger before. That's interesting. Nah, dude, as soon as they start dropping the SAO headset, I'm logging out from gaming permanently. I already know how that pans out. Seen too many isekai. Yo, Benji's, I'm watching it right now. It was messed up, dude. Like, I just saw the part where like the bad dude gets arrested, you know, that try to stab him in the parking lot. Anime got really dark really fast. Is that tech actually gonna exist? Human body gonna be useless like exercise training and study naturally? Hikara, I don't know. That's a weird. We're gonna find out, I guess, dude. We're gonna find out. But things like exercise and training and studying have already been on the massive decline. At least in the U.S. Most of the U.S. population is clinically obese. Almost all college students currently are using ChatGPT to finish all their assignments. A lot of the college professors are actually just plugging their stuff into ChatGPT. This is an issue that I've seen in college, which I'm currently in right now, where students have been like, dude, I stopped giving a damn and I use ChatGPT for everything because I started taking my assignments, plugging them into ChatGPT and saying, grade this as a college professor, whatever, and then I would get it spit back notes, and the notes that it was spitting back to me was exactly the notes that my professor was giving me. So they were saying my professor's using ChatGPT to grade all the student assignments. So if they're using it, I'm going to use it too. Like, F it, bro. So nobody's really doing their job. Everybody's getting paid. But ChatGPT's out here doing everybody's job. College professors, oh, I got 10 papers to grade today. That would have normally took me 6 hours. I'm just going to upload them all to ChatGPT and ask it to make remarks for me. And in 10 minutes, I'll have those papers back to those students. And my job for the day is done. You know? So we're already seeing it highly take over a lot of parts of the world. And everybody has an AI plugin to their application now. Some of it is being overused and some of it is going to go away, I'm sure of, because some things don't really require AI, but they're forcing it on those. So we'll see where it all goes, but I think that it's the future and we can't stop it. I had 2 people in my chat beefing about it. One dude liked ED and some outdated garbage, and the other like Star Citizen is never going to get released and it's all copium. Bro, I had this is why I'm watching this video. I had the same Star Citizen battle in my chat. As far as I know, you go on IRL month-long expedition and plan out your route to mine some things, fight enemy aliens, etc. Okay. Basic breakdown, but creating literal Milky Way sized galaxies is old tech capabilities. Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that. I know that No Man's Sky was supposed to be the first game that did it, but I also heard that it didn't do well. So I think while it's been done before, it's never been done well. I don't think it's ever been done well enough to be hyper successful. And apparently Star Citizen isn't there either.
Makes them persist over time.
What up, Fallen?
So if you crash your spaceship somewhere, another player can come across it, find the loot on board,
Jobless people
and
going up
salvage
so
the hull.
bad.
All of this is done without a single loading screen or animation. If you wanted to travel from your bed on an outpost on some moon orbiting around Microtech to the ship factories in the floating city of Orison on the planet Crusader, the only time you would ever lose control of your character is when you sit down in your pilot seat. This is actually a pretty important detail. This idea.
That's actually huge, bro. Scrolls. Damn, I forgot all about the scrolls, Fallen. Let's see if I have time for some today. I'm going to finish this little review right here. And then we'll see if I have time. Because today I have to leave at 11:50 for sure. Because I have to work the shop, so. But I will be back with a Magic the Gathering live stream. We're going to play some Magic today. God damn, I almost died. Yo, that little T went down the wrong pipe, bro. Y'all almost witnessed an accidental death live on stream, bro. My eyes are crying, dog. That's crazy. But anyway, yeah. Today I'm going to do some Magic the Gathering with some people from my local community here in Orange Park, Florida. So if y'all want to see some IRL streaming later, hopefully I don't get my ass beat at Magic the Gathering too bad. But there are those who will come to try and slay the dragon, so we shall see. Yeah, I'm streaming at the shop today later on. You thought I'm making Wukong? Yeah, I did make a Wukong. I made a Wukong right away, bro. I'm a full-time streamer now, so as soon as Wukong was released, I got it to 61, played it. Bro, get the boy some water. No, literally, bro. So a big point... dying. A big point that they just made here is that despite the vastness of maps, right? There are no loading screens. You can seamlessly travel between galaxies, between massive spaces, no loading screen, no bubbles, no troubles. This is like BDO or World of Warcraft, where you can travel the world with no loading screens on an absolutely bonkers larger scale, on a space scale. Actually, being here for the stream is fun to experience. You'll tune in more. Hey, I appreciate that, Benji's, man. That's big love.
Of fidelity and immersion and just having your player fully existent in the space runs deep in Star Citizen, to its success and detriment. It's not always realistic. I think that ship sailed well before the gravity guns, but it tries to run on rules and make you pay for not heeding those rules. Even then, they do still take liberties. Along with the idea of living in an
The water
immersive
looked
world,
pretty serious.
also comes one of choice and consequence. The game itself is basically full loot. If you load your ship up with supplies, food, weapons, ammo, a vehicle, and even a little cargo for a voyage, and then you accidentally crash into the space station as you fly from planet to the orbital depot, well, that stuff is gone. Well, you might be able to find it scattered around in space, and everyone will really appreciate the additional load you just put on the server with that, but you're basically starting over when you respawn. Of course, with all the stuff you have stored.
Therein lies a problem. He said the additional load you put on the server when you do that. Anytime gamers hear that, they think it's a party when you all band together and purposefully try to crash the server, which I don't understand, because it's like your goal, your mission is to stop being able to play, and you're having fun playing it, like trying to carry out that mission. I don't know, man. People are crazy doing that. But that's kind of wild. I don't think it's too much of a foreign concept, you know? I don't think it's a bad thing, because in any other game, when you die, you lose your loot. Like, if I'm playing RuneScape Dragon Wilds and I die, I lose my stuff. Or like in a lot of games that are bag item based, that are survival based, you will lose your loot. So I don't think it's a big deal. It's kids. They don't think they can't use their toy once it's broken. Yep, that's probably what it is. I tell you, I've been boosting like 12 people the past 3 days. In BDO Hikara, that's a lot of boosting, bro.
In your cache. And currently the alpha is actually pretty good at finding many excuses to kill you for reasons you simply can't control or understand, and it can be incredibly annoying and frustrating. Sometimes CIG will take temporary concessions to make things a little bit easier, like allowing us to spawn in our hangar, but that immersion factor is what brings a lot of players to the game, flying from location to location, walking around on the ground while watching others fly around, running industrial operations with dozens of people working together to...
I'll tell you what. Hey, what's up, Kraken? That's something that'll make me stop playing the game and never want to play it again immediately. If I just work 3 hours to get my resources and some random dude ship bugs and falls out of the sky and crashes into me and I die and lose everything, I'm not playing your game again. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to throw away 5 hours of gathering work because your game bugged, and then you're going to sit there and do nothing about it and compensate me in any way, shape, or form, because if you survive the first time that happens, the third time it happens, you're going to want to really be done with the game. Nah, Z, bro, I'm dying, bro. That damn wrong gulp, bro. Just now I'm coughing for life permanently.
Complete a larger task with mech suits, spaceships, and hand tools, flying through the clouds on the way to your next ground assault as your co-pilot belts out the worst shanty you've ever heard, or even just finding a spot on your favorite planet where the sun never sets, and hanging out with your friends. And where anything is possible, everything is possible. While there is an unmonitored low security star system in the game now called Pyro, anywhere and everywhere outside of protected zones, the safety is off for all weapons. Now, this is a complicated topic, but I'll explain it like this. Eventually, security is going to be so prolific and OP that most sane people will be deterred from committing crimes in highly monitored space. In addition, any base you build in high security areas
World PvP. I think that world PvP is an essential part of gaming. I think it makes for really fun gameplay. World PvP should not be restricted. I agree with this. Outside of a safe zone, the beef is on. However, I believe that who has gotten world PvP the best is World of Warcraft. Why? Because there are factions. There will always be alliance for you to kill or horde for you to kill, but you must fall within one of the two factions. They need to add a system, maybe add 3 factions, that are all warring, so that you cannot attack anyone from your faction, and then add faction balances like WoW has, right? Where, oh, this faction is overpowered on the server that you play on, you can no longer create characters within this faction. Characters must be created within the other faction until that faction catches up, and then there's like a teetering balance to maintain. Excuse me, I'm dying. An equilibrium within play. Why this is important? Because if somebody's killing you, your faction will show up and defend you. If somebody kills Horde on my watch, I'm going on my main character and I'm banging somebody up. If I kill Alliance, their main characters show up. Like their level 60s that are really geared show up to kill me, right? Because there's a faction war. It's like almost like a Gangs of New York based mindset and concept in the game. How I don't think open world PvP works is the way that has been explained to me in old BDO. If like all players are just free, then you get a really powerful player that just really starts stomping on everybody and is just killing everything that moves for no reason and making the gaming experience absolutely miserable for somebody else. And then people don't want to play the game anymore. People are deterred from it. I think that if you add factions, it's nice, because if that player is killing you, all the people that are on your side are going to show up and bang him up, and then his people are going to show up. And at the end of the day, nobody gets any grinding done. And nobody gets any leveling done, but you all just had an amazing amount of fun PvPing each other for the past 4 hours, And that's kind of how it works in WoW, and it's really entertaining. And now that I started the WoW leveling group and that I invited a bunch of people from BDO to start playing with me, that's the feedback that I'm getting from people that played BDO that are now world PvPing in WoW. They're saying that it's funner in WoW. Like, sure, the mechanics are different, but it's fun because you feel like you're connected and you're a part of this group that is going out and defending each other. Like, no matter what, it's us against them. Like you force them to pick a side, and it's Horde versus Alliance, good guys versus bad guys. Like, the faction world PvP, I think, is the best way to do it. So I really like that it does have beef on site, like world PvP. This is Star Citizen, Krathos. We're doing a little review on it. Still no song request command. Fallen, I need to not stream as much and take time to hash some things out, like playing music on stream. The other thing is that I dual stream, so I can edit the channels on Streamlabs OBS so that I can play music and it won't be a part of my Twitch VOD, so that won't get muted and people can still enjoy it, but I don't think the same can be done for YouTube. So until I figure all that out, I can't really have that. In the end, it depends on how far they take the realism. Some people love the hardcore type systems where every action has consequences. I believe so, and I think that any game that is on a scale or has a scope to be a really major game or needs a ton of funding needs to cater to the masses. You can't tie yourself to the term some people, because some people love BDO. And some people think that BDO is the only action combat system that can tickle their fancy. But that's not the vast majority of people. And that's why the game is smaller, the updates are slower. Like, there's different things that go with that. If you have something that is like internationally regarded as like the best by the vast majority, even if there's no room in there for the small niche people that like certain fancies, the game funding is so much larger. Like GTA, like Minecraft, like, games that are just known to be the top 5 biggest games in the world, They cater to the absolute masses, and they have the largest budgets, and they can do anything they want because they have so much money and so many people that they can hire. So it depends on what you're going for as a company. But I think when people go into business, most people go into it for the money. And sometimes they just can't dial in a project or a product to be able to perform, as well as they'd like it to, but it performs well enough to where it makes them a lot of money and they're happy with it, Trust me, Guild Wars in early BDO, there was way better world PvP than WoW world PvP. I never played it, so I couldn't tell you. I'm still getting used to the BDO PvP thing, and I think it's not for everybody, Like, PvP and BDO is cool, but I still enjoy PvP and WoW way more. I just like the skill timings better, how they work, how the classes counter each other. I don't think there's hard counters to classes and then surviving those hard counters in BDO the way there is in WoW, and I think that's a very interesting part of WoW. Mods can do it. Mods can do what, Fallen? Well, so far, Star Citizen seems like an extremely niche game. Just like ED, it does seem niche. And it already has super high PC spec requirements. That's crazy. It's probably because the world is so large, because the graphics don't look that amazing, honestly. Destiny looks way better than this.
Is basically invulnerable. For those that do commit those crimes, we also will have bounty hunters to track them down for a good piece of money. And even in unmonitored space like Pyro, third-party factions are going to be enforcing their own rules and ways, just to still keep things,
What? What? That was a big thing. I really like that concept. If you're going around killing people, there's like a board in town or something. People can go pick up a quest to go kill you, bro. So you could have like a 5-man party go out and buy a bounty out on you and go hunt you down like a dog if you're just going out killing people, and it'll be a good money reward. Now, may that system be abused? Most definitely. There's going to be people that kill everybody, and then they let their friend come bounty them and kill them so they get a big reward. If they can work ways around those flaws, I think that's an amazing system. That sounds like a really, really cool system.
Normal. But for now, Star Citizen is pretty open to combat, and it can be really annoying. It's not as common as people make it out to be at times, but it will serve you well to learn where all the dangerous places in the game are and stay away from them, because as of right now, the game doesn't really have your back. The general format that all these interactions will take place is not one that's wildly uncommon from my knowledge when it comes to MMOs. It's a mix of the traditional mission and quest-oriented theme park style MMOs and the more open sandbox style MMOs. This is done through the use of a single shared environment for everybody on the shard, as well as close off instanced areas around the map. Essentially, the game is envisioned to allow all of the planets and moons, star systems, cities, outposts, and everything in between to persist in an environment that can allow for small instanced sections of various privacy. Some instances, like hangars and habs, will allow for transit of any player that you personally invite. Dungeon crawling areas like the sewers of the planet-scale metropolis ArcCorp will be the same. But then there may be other instanced areas, or even those that are just distinctly closed off from the rest of the world. These are areas that anybody can enter or exit at any time. An example of this are the new contested zones. Think the Division Dark Zones, but with more possible players and in broken down space stations. A pretty exciting place for people who want to get into FPS gameplay, but also an example of how Star Citizen might start to package more areas in the game to feature more defined types of gameplay. This design is actually completely different from the original concept and is a large part of why the game has taken so long. The original game was meant to just be pockets of disconnected game areas in planetary orbit, in between planets, and on planetary surfaces. This would have been reminiscent to how a game like Starfield functions, or even Star Wars Outlaws, where you would load into instances whether you are on a planet, in orbit of that planet, or in between planets in travel. And while this would have been perfectly acceptable, obviously the game expanded to try and go much.
I like this. There's something I really like about this. Fallen, I got to figure out all that channel management stuff. you have like a watch you use where the bounty quests come up. Oh, that's pretty cool. Old and new PvP and BDO are the same bad things. Imagine that you're grinding fully buffed for PvE and someone just nukes you because he's fully buffed for PvP. Interesting. I wish BDO had that to spice the red life up. Yeah, man, I think the factions are spicy. Finding the perfect game is hard, but BDO is still the best for me. Just, cannot compare with others. BDO is different. BDO is very different, Hikara. I agree. Reds have been asking for proper systems, but PA hates PvP. Yeah, I mean, this new Adana thing seems like it might go hard for PvP. But one thing that I like about this, right? Here is a positive gem about BDO. I really like that you can be a BDO life skiller. Full time. Life skill your soul off and be able to upgrade and buy up to the best gear in the game. I also like that you can be a grinder in BDO. And just grind your socks off and be able to upgrade to the best gear in the game. Because, obviously, Wailing, Fallen God, or whatever, like, you could buy that off Central Market. You could buy all your stuff. Like I was saying, you can buy all your stuff, and that's really good. But a game like World of Warcraft does not offer that. You could life skill, per se, or use professions in World of Warcraft to make tons of money, and then you'll have tons and tons and tons of money. But you can't really just go to the auction house and just buy the best gear. Like, you can't buy high warlord gear. You have to PvP and earn it, which is still nice. It provides a way, right? And I do, to BDO's credit, I like the life skillers can achieve the best gear in the game and the grinders can achieve the best gear in the game. To WoW's credit, I like that you have to go do the thing in order to have the best gear at doing the thing in the game. Like, in arenas and everything. Like, if you want the best PvP gear in WoW, you need to PvP. You have to get it to attain the gear. So, I like those systems, but I do like that they have this system in Star Citizen that looks like you can choose to be in the sewers and the dungeons and just play the game as a predominantly first-person shooter-styled game. And that you can take a different avenue completely and play the game as like a ship battle-based game. And still make a lot of money, upgrade your character, your gear, do your thing, But there's multiple paths, and I think that's the future of gaming from what I'm seeing with like WoW introduced it with raiding and PvP. They offered two separate ways. You like killing monsters and bosses and doing group content, go here. You like fighting other players and being competitive, you go here. And then BDO has like the life skilling tree and has the PvE grind tree. You have to take one of those trees, and it'll ultimately lead you to the AOS tree if you want to go there in that route, I think more games need sustainable systems like this that allow players to experience the game in more than one way, because everybody's different and everybody has different stimulations to their brain and how they like to go about their online time. Said not people hate red players, me included. Be like Lunai and have over 1 trillion in storage, but cry about having no gear. Yo, the homie went for the throat there, bro. Man, my nose is drippy from... Bro, I choked for a second earlier, and it just destroyed me for the rest of the day. Life skillers shake my head. Bro, the day Lunai sells everything he has, he's going to be like a gajillionaire and have all the best gear in the game. True, if you grind a lot. Shadow, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you, brother. True, if you grind a lot, then do some life skills. It's a very refreshing approach because you're very unlikely to die to other players while life skilling or die from mobs for AFK. Yeah, and you also need that. That's a good point too, Benji's, that you need things that make the game refreshing and that let you do something that feels completely different from the thing that you're doing right now, because you'll get burnt out. I think games need burnout protection like that. Like if I'll give you an example. A game with very limited burnout protection that I love, it's like my first MMORPG ever, but it's like old school RuneScape, dude. You're always just like, you know, hacking at the tree or attacking the rat. Is very, like, so easy to burn out on that game. Your burnout protection is going fishing and leaving your guy lobster caging for a little bit, or harpooning sharks for a little bit, and then walking to the bank, depositing it and back. Like, there's not really good burnout protection like there is in BDO. How you could go sailing, or you can go fishing, or you can go gathering, or you can go hunting. Like, gathering herbs all over BDO and hunting like black lions or rhinos is two completely different games you're playing. And I think that burnout protection is essential for games to be successful. I mean, in retail, you just get gold and buy boosts. With on PvE side, you can definitely get BIS gear without actually being any good. So I don't like retail, Kraken. I don't like retail. But hey, if BDO making dungeons like WoW, it's going to be a best thing. PA can improve PvP more and attract PvP players and make the game great again. Like in WoW, people call it grind outside or grind inside. There's a lot of things from WoW that could be implemented in BDO that would make the game amazing. However, I believe that PA has absolutely no interest in WoWifying their game. And whether that's a good or bad thing, I'm not sure, but at least it's respectable that they're not trying to WoW clone their game and that they've made such a different game. And I think that BDO players really love BDO because it's not a WoW clone. And I think it would be a step in the wrong direction, and I think they need to be very careful when they tread that water to not WoW clone their game. Because, you know, you might think that it's for the best, and then it starts happening, and you start hating it. So I think they're doing good things and going in a good direction. The releases from the Heidel Ball, I think, were good. I think they're still missing every once in a while. Like, I think Wukong should have came out a little bit more powerful than it did. Especially when it's a new class, and especially when it's a class that's that badass, bro. Like, don't drop the ball on that. Wukong should have came out the gate hot and should have, like, for a brief moment in time, and I hate saying this because I'm a Sage, should have surpassed Sage. In kill time, in grinding, in PvP, like, they should have just, it should have been all Wukong all day, you know? And everybody kind of made the class and was like, wow, the Nimbus is fun, but that was it. And put it down right away. People start BDO because there should be infinite progression. BDO should never run out of content, and there should be things money can't buy. Fallen, while that is a good point, that is also the goal of every video game in existence that aims to make money. If you beat the game, you put the game down. That is why World of Warcraft has come out with endless expansions and has restarted their game so many times. If you beat the game, you go find another game to beat. I think the goal of MMORPGs is to never really have the game end. The problem, maybe some guild's going to gatekeep the instance. That happens in PvP, you know. That happens in WoW on PvP servers, but that's what makes it fun. You have to bring your own people, and you have to make it a faction war. Yeah, I agree, Fallen. If BDO players want a BDO to play like WoW, I feel like you just go play WoW. Yeah. It's good to add one or two things from WoW to tweak little things, but BDO is a game that could never feel WoW cloney, you know? It could never feel like a WoW clone, or the BDO community will dump it. The BDO community is very niche and wants their game to feel a certain way, and that is vastly different from how WoW feels. Wukong is hot garbage, though. Deadeye and Dosa haven't been broken either. So not sure what you're talking about. So you said it is hot garbage. That's what I said. That's what I just said, Z. That they dropped the ball on Wukong because it felt underpowered. It should have been more overpowered. It should have been better than Sage for a moment in time, you know? Like, if you're going to drop this new hot class, like, yo, look at this new hot class. We're going to drop a Spartan, you know? Make it the shit, dude. Make it nice. Make it really powerful. Make it really strong. Don't make me hop on it thinking it's going to be the shit and then put it down right away, which is what I did with Wukong. I was like, okay, the Flying Nimbus is cool. This is cool, but at the end of the day, it can't grind like my Sage. It can't kill things as quickly as my Sage. It just doesn't feel as good. And that was the sentiment that I got from a lot of people. A lot of people made a Wukong, tried it out, and put it down immediately. So if they can avoid ball drops like that, I think it's important for companies to be successful on releases. And I think they aim to be successful on releases. But I don't know what they were thinking with that. I think they should have tested it a little bit more in comparison with other classes and then, you know, try to do a little bit better of a job with it.
Much larger in scope. This hybrid solution will continue in tandem with server meshing to allow for what feels like a pretty seamless open world where all the points of interest and actions that take place at them affect the overall economy. But that's not what the game is right now. This is just the underlying design of the game, a lot of which is not yet functional, much of which is, and even more so that I actually didn't even get to get into during this talk. If you want to truly deep dive on what makes Star Citizen, I have a playlist of that on my channel called Suggested Watching that I'll link down below for you. But how about we take a look at the most in-depth game loops that Star Citizen offers and the gameplay you can actually take part in Star Citizen. Before we continue, I want to take a second to thank the sponsor.
Let me do this for research purposes, bro. So this guy has 77K subscribers. Because I like looking at stuff like this, right? So let's see his playlist. Okay, so this guy's entire YouTube channel is about spaceship games. Okay. He has 367 videos on Star Citizen, that gameplay. Got a little cyberpunk. Okay, that's crazy. Okay. Because I was like, bro, why do you have 42 videos in that playlist about Star Citizen? What the hell is going on? So his whole channel is based around space games. This guy's like a huge space game nerd. Which leads me to believe that he's the right person to listen to when it comes to this. And I want to say I really respect the fact that he's dogging Star Citizen in certain areas and saying like they could improve here and there, which is really nice. I like to see people that are being honest about it.
Of this video, y'all. We haven't really taken sponsors on our YouTube videos yet. We've been 100% supported by you, basically. But as a thanks, we like to publish exclusive timed videos every month, live access to our podcasts, and
heard Wukong's gonna get buffed next update. I really hope so. I feel like it needs a buff. Megyu Wusa Drak. Dead Dosa was mid, so they released Crazy Awake. I feel like make the class for enjoyable, not everything that has to be the best.
Provide different amounts of money at different times and will undoubtedly change.
I have a take on that, Fallen. I, for one, am glad the class is mid. Gives them time to work on other aspects of the game.
We do all kinds of stuff from mining to taking over outposts and pyro to...
So, with that, Fallen, I think you have to look at things on a spectrum, right? And you have to say, well, if they made this class mid, it gives them time to work on other aspects of the game. I don't think that's a good way to look at it because what we don't understand as players, right? Like, this is just me speaking from the perspective of being a business owner, right? Like, people will always tell you like, oh, take your time with it. It's going to be okay. Take it slow, this and that. And that is not a realistic reality when you are a business owner. You can't take your time with things or this and that. When you're a business owner, you are constantly battling survival. It is much easier to work a job, and if you get fired, you go get another job, and then you work there for 10 or 15 years, than it is to try and keep a business up. If you look at business in the United States statistically, 1 in 10 businesses succeed, which means that upon starting a business, you have a 10% chance of survival. And if you survive the first 3 years or loss, which means that for 3 years, if your business is not only not producing you any income, it's taking up at least 60 hours of your work week and it's losing you money for 3 years straight, you need to have a really strong financial backing to be able to support that. Business is not easy, man. It's really difficult. And they need to not miss. You know, they need to come out with something and people need to go, oh my God, that's the greatest thing I ever seen in my life. I want 10 of them now, you know? And if you miss on that mark, you need to be at least a little bit successful. So I don't think they have the luxury to drop misses, you know? And then there's the player experience, right? Like most people in BDO are trying to grind. They want to have fun. They want it to be good, but they're trying to grind viciously, constantly. And when you look at the amount of people that come into my chat and talk shit to me for being at Honglim base, it's incredible. Every day, every single day that I stream, Monday to Saturday, if I am at Honglim, somebody's going to be like, why are you here? Why are you doing that? Your gear's so much better. Go somewhere else. Why are you here? You know? And they're just angry about it because they're min-maxers and they want the most money the quickest way so that they can continue this endless tapping, progressing nightmare that is BDO and everyone loves anyway, you know? So I think they need to come up with something that's strong enough and is viable enough for people to thoroughly enjoy it and not lose faith or hope in the game. And BDO is a game that, again, today in chat, look at my chat. People are talking shit about the good old days, how PvP used to be good, how PvP used to be fun, how the game used to be awesome. And they keep messing things up and they keep sucking and they keep this and they keep that, you know? So those are things that companies need to mitigate, man, because it's not difficult. We saw it with World of Warcraft. We've seen it with Destiny. We saw it with RuneScape. We've seen it with pretty much every major company that if they miss, they can easily lose 70, 80, 90% of their player base. And that may not seem like a big deal. The game's still there. The game's still running. Hardcore fans are still there. That immediately translates to funding for the owners and the operators of the company. That equates to job cuts, people losing their careers, people losing 1 or 2 yachts, a couple mansions. Like, it's serious stuff, man. Did you check if you had an Aragon the Uniter, by the way, Erkulez? I have not, Kraken. I've been busy. July the 4th yesterday, this and that. But I have to check if I have a second one. I thought I had more than one. I have my own personal cards in the back here. I have to look through them all. I'm going to deck build today probably. So I may be looking through that. But look at what we got. For a mid-class, we got complete gear and item reworks all in rapid succession. The ball was a net positive. I agree with that. Sure, if you made a Kong sick, anyone who played Kong would be happy. But there are many people who just want to play their class or do something else. Having a good class and drop an update that helps everyone versus the best class, but only serves that class's players. I think it is a long-standing MMORPG standard to make the new hot thing overpowered and then it gets patched and downpowered. I do not think that it is not purposeful. Look at how successful the 2 first expansions for World of Warcraft were, right? If there is nothing else that is written in time and history, it is that World of Warcraft developers effing love Paladins, bro. Paladin is the #1 undisputed, uncontested favorite in early World of Warcraft. Why? Because Burning Crusade came out, Paladins were absolutely broken. Wrath came out, Paladins were absolutely broken, and everybody hated it or loved it, but you know what happened shortly after? They patched it.
Holy Shock was an instant cast that was like 3-shotting people for a long time in Arena. They dominated everybody. When they came out with Death Knights, Blood DKs, I did not like Death Knights. I made a Death Knight. I put all my other characters down. I mained a Blood DK in Arena. You were immortal. You did more damage than everybody, and you could 1v2 all day, every day. They were just so broken, but in that, they were so fun to play. And when you went against another Blood DK, it was an absolute slugfest, bro. It felt like a really good UFC fight. And then they patched it. That's how I think they should do it. They should drop Wukong, make it stronger than Sage is right now, or comparable to Sage, because it's like the meta grinder, PvP class, whatever. Give it a month, patch it, throttle it down. I think that's the good way to release. Be like, oh, guys, oh, look at us. We messed up a little bit. We made it too strong. We're going to throttle it down. I think that is always a better method than playing catch-up, which is what they're doing now. Now they're like, oh, Wukong's going to get a buff because we dropped the ball and it's kind of weak and everybody played it and was disappointed. It's much harder to get people to jump back on a class. When they tried it, they're like, no, kind of good. I'm not feeling it, you know. Getting them back to something that disappointed them is very difficult. Example A, Destiny. I played Destiny 1 as soon as it came out. All through it. I played Destiny 2 as soon as it came out. I played it all the way up to like Taken King. I was raiding Taken King religiously with my guild, like my little clan or whatever that I had in Destiny. I had all the gear. I had all the weapons. I had every exotic. I grinded the shit out of Destiny. Then around Callus, they kept making mistakes. They kept swapping things around. I lost complete faith in the game. People say that it's nice now. Will I ever go back and play it again? No, because I've lost faith in the game. I've lost faith in the development team. And there are just other games that are going to come out, bro. Like Chrono's going to come out. I want to play Chrono. And like you said, Heidelball, net positive. Keeping everybody in the game. And I think that's what they did. 20k crons, a shitload of hammers, giving you reasons to play. Oh, Wukong sucked a little bit. Here's all this free shit for your main class, the class that you want to play, universal, unilateral things that everyone can enjoy. I think those are really good strategic development moves for a video game. However, I would have ramped up Wukong, made it the most hype shit ever, and then throttled it back to normality. You know, fishing has been broken. Like AFK fishing was broken for a little bit. It is now back to normality, right? I had the wind whatever fishing rod, the free Grandpa Cron rod that they give, and I had the OP pay to win Grandpa Cron rod, bro. I made so much money fishing, bro. Easily over 200, 300 bill without touching my account, just AFK fishing. I made it to, brother. I am Guru 26 fishing, bro. And I ain't been fishing for that long. I'm way higher fishing than people have been playing BDO for years, right? I have fished more things than I have killed in this game. And I have made an astronomical amount of money doing it. They throttled it back. I ran out of those rods. Now I'm a peasant, just like everybody else. I'm fishing with my damn Balanos fishing rod from 1 a.m. to 10:44 a.m. That is all that I have fished. They throttled it down again. They did a good job with that. It's no longer the great fountain of plenty. So I agree with things like that. I think things should come out really hot and they should be throttled down. That is the natural order of progression that we've seen with MMOs. And I think they missed that mark with Wukong. But like you said, they did a lot of other things that made other people really happy in general. Facts, they can't afford airballs right now. I agree, Laugh. They cannot afford airballs right now. However, Wukong, I think, was the one airball. Still a really cool class. Everything else was a home run, bro. A grand slam. The new zone that they released, the new PvP meta where there's going to be like a weekly ruler of this land that controls world buffs and controls all these things. I think they home runned a lot of shit in the Heidelball. I think they did really good with it. I wish they would have home runned Wukong because it's a really cool class. And how are you going to add a damn Goku class, bro? And you know, drop that ball. Yeah, but it's hard to compare since in BDO, when you commit to a class, you commit with weight and outfits and other character-bound things. If you start by saying, you guys, this class is great, play this, then my investment is worth nothing in 6 months because, this was not the class you wanted to release player base. It's a rug pull. But BDO also offers a shitload of maids, a shitload of storage stuff, your tent. All of these things are permanent account-wide things, which I agree with. I agree with account-wide investments, right? Like, I have a large family inventory. I have a lot of weight in my family inventory. I have a lot of account-wide things. The only thing I miss out when I try a new character is a little bit of weight. Not that serious, bro. Like, 13 to 1800 weight is enough when you have 50 storage maids. It is enough for me. My Wukong, I thought I was going to need more weight. I don't need more weight. I can grind Honglin perfectly fine. I can use my maids. Everything is Gucci. So I can swap to any class and not have any real issues because a lot of the upgrades that you can invest in and purchase in BDO are account-wide. I really much so agree with that. They often release OP classes, then nerf. Example, Megu nerfed like 5 times, was OP. Deadeye was OP at launch, nerfed after that. They dropped nerfed Wukong immediately from Global Labs. I agree, Laugh. Bro, cut this up for a YouTube vid. It needs to be, bro. It needs to be cut up. I agree with you, Laugh. I think that, I know Dracania was overpowered at one time, and they nerfed that down a lot. So I think that the method, historically, for MMORPGs is to drop it really hot and then nerf it down, so that everybody gets to play it, gets to experience it at its hype. You can thoroughly enjoy the class powerful. I think dropping it low and upgrading it after makes a lot of players lose faith in the class. But again, that's my personal take on it.
Salvage to combat to just hanging out in the verse. It's a great group of people, and we're always welcoming. Sign up down below or hit up the website if you'd like to join. All right, now, first up is mining, which ranges in usefulness in many games, from single click to mine resources, to automated mining to build bases, to dig up the ground and make new tunnels. Extracting goods from resource pools is pretty hands-on in Star Citizen. You have different forms in ships, vehicles, and FPS mining, and many different tools and variables that change that experience in each one. You have different locations to search, certain moons and asteroid belts that offer particular resources, and the easy ability to do it all solo or join some friends. You can also refine your goods and sell them for a higher price by going to...
I think that's a W take right there for Star Citizen. Here's one thing that I have never seen another MMORPG do. I've never seen group life skill content. That's really cool. What if they added a massive node that gave a lot of really valuable resources, but you couldn't break it down on your own? You needed other life skillers to go with you with a certain life skill level, almost adding a boss aspect to life skilling. I think that would be revolutionary for games like BDO, where life skilling is huge. Like, even games like RuneScape, right? What if they made like a really strong tree, right, that offered a specific kind of wood that would be used as endgame materials but could only be harvested in parties of 5? That would be really cool. It would add a Discord chat group community aspect to the game where you could all work together to get these PvE resources that did not involve boss battles or anything like that. I think it would make life skill guilds really strong, and in a game where life skilling is such a huge part of the game, I think that's a massive W take that other games should be implementing. The character selection on BDO is hard, bro. We cannot change the build directly on the character like Albion or PoE. Choice different class should be common things to do in BDO. Yeah, I think that they could do... Ah, man, here's the other thing about BDO. One thing that I don't like about BDO is that you are locked into playing a class in a predetermined way, right? Like, everyone's like, learn your combos, learn your rotations. This is how you play Sage. This is how you play Wukong. This is how you play Megu. This is how you play Sork. This is how you play these classes. One thing that I really like about my favorite MMORPG of all time, Ragnarok Online, is that you can make a class and you can play that class in 30 different ways, you know? You could make, like, a perfect example of that is Assassins in Ragnarok Online. You know, you could be a breaker sin cross, you can be a critical sin, you can be like an attack speed sin. You can be all these ways, right? You make a monk, you could be a combo monk, you could be an Azura monk, you could be a tanking monk. You know, you can do all of these different things with your one class. You can go reset your skills or your talent points and plug certain points in certain directions to completely and entirely change how you play that class. And as much as the BDO community hates it, I think there should be like a tank heal meta, you know, in BDO. Like I think it's called Valk or something, the class with the shield and the spear. Like, why not make that class have a bunch of damage reduction and have threat generation where they can tank a massive boss in BDO, and then have Shais, if you don't want to give Shais direct healing abilities, then give them damage reduction abilities, much like the priest in Ragnarok Online, or like a discipline priest in WoW, where it's not so much healing, but it's just a ton of damage reduction and a ton of damage absorption, so that you can, in a game like BDO, start to create this this healing kind of meta. In PvP, almost none of the priests are holy in arenas. They're all discipline, and the way they heal is by damage absorption or damage reduction. They put bubbles on you on a certain cooldown. They can absorb X amount of damage. And if somebody wants to take down the person you're healing, they need to break through those bubbles, and then they need to do the damage, and they need to take them down. It's a lot more complex and difficult gameplay. Like, that's what I like about WoW PvP. You need to either CC the healer and kill their DPS, or CC the DPS. You need to control them and be able to take out the healer, and you need to work as a team efficiently. And if anybody messes up their rotation or overuses a control on a class, creating diminishing returns every time that class is controlled in that way, the control effect is minimalized every time. Like, every time you get stunned for less amount of time. Every time that any kind of control form is used on you, you develop a resistance to it during the fight, and then it creates very interesting PvP, and I really like it.
Certain space stations that have better margins on their refining. But the economy in Star Citizen is still so bare bones, and crafting doesn't yet exist, so you'll mainly mine for profit. This means most folks focus on a few resources, and the otherwise exciting depth of the profession gets lost in the monotony for many, for now. In the future, we'll...
For those of you Star Citizen ponies that are out there, that is very disappointing that the game is in Alpha 4.0 right now. Has been out for 12 years in development, and there is still not an established crafting system, that there's still not established aspects to the game that can really make the game feel rich and exciting. They're doing a lot of things right. Like, I like the group content of Star Citizen, but like, dude, there's faith in the company is a real thing. And where I would be excited to try a game like this, I would not try a game like this, because just statistics alone. If you tell me the game has been in production for 12 years and it is still lacking in all of these departments, I don't think it's good for games to allow you to play really rough versions of the game. Example A, Chrono Odyssey. I don't think they should have released that unpolished dog water version of the game, because I'm still going to play the game when it releases. I think the game is great, but the vast majority of people were really disappointed with Chrono and are not going to touch the game, have been verbal about not touching the game when it comes out, not wanting to give it a second shot. They're like, this was garbage, I'm not playing this game. And I think that when you've been in production for 12 years, and when you have just put out not exciting, available gameplay for that long, it really diminishes the culture and the people's stance behind the game. Like, it's hard to defend a game like that. I would much rather have a game like GTA 6 that just continues to prolong their release and gives you a polished product. If GTA 6 flops when it releases, I think a lot of people are just not going to touch GTA again. It sucks, but it's the reality. And I think they know and they understand that. And I think when they release it, it's going to be groundbreaking and the most amazing game that's come out in a very, very, very long time. They've put a lot of work into it, and continuing to push deadlines could either be a massive detriment to your game or could be a massive up to your game. And here's what I think that is based on, right? The foundation of it is this. I think that if you are a game that I was following for a long time and I completely gave up hope on, like Skull and Bones, right? Or whatever it's called, that pirate game that came out, right? I was following that game for a while. I was really excited about it launching. I wanted that to be my big content creating break. I wanted that to be the game that I full throttled on, went really hard on. And then they kept pushing the release date further and further. And when that started happening, I was under the assumption that it was going to flop, and it effectively did. It was a massive flop. The reason that GTA can get away with it, that GTA can prolong a game, it is because of GTA 5. They have a long established reputation in being able to create a game that absolutely dominates Twitch, that absolutely dominates the captivity of a player base. So if they are extending a game because they are making it greater than it has ever been before, people will get behind that and say, look at what they've done before. If WoW was to release a new MMORPG and delay it 6 times over 3 years or 4 years, it would work in their favor. There would be endless hype about this game. It would be absolutely astronomically hyped. People would be crazy about the game because they have that long established reputation of being able to put out a successful product, right? BDO is successful in its own right, in its own way. If they prolonged a game from dropping for a really long time and got everybody really hype about it, I think they would get a lot of backing. A game that is kind of newer and untested, extending its release date to come out with a polished product, I don't think is a strategic marketing way of releasing a game. So, I don't know. So far, Star Citizen looks cool. Is it a game that I would ever try? Probably not. You mean like Crimson Desert? That's what I've heard that's supposed to be like the new BDO thing. I haven't looked into that game. I should review it on Saturdays and see what that's looked like. I don't know if there's even any stuff about that, but I'll see. Gubsy, what made me play BDO? I spent about $5,000 on a game called Moo Dragon Havoc, which is a mobile game. And then I was like the most powerful player on my server for a really long time. There was a server-wide PvP event, and everyone targeted me. And I literally went like 1 versus 25 or 1 versus 30 and just stomped the entire server out by myself. It was absolutely amazing. I had the most fun ever. And after spending that egregious amount of money, they released new stuff in the game and basically made all the free-to-play players able to stomp me out. And that was utterly disappointing. So I went on ChatGPT and I said, what is the best pay-to-win game, or what game could I get the furthest in with minimal time if I add funds to it? And ChatGPT had Black Desert as number 1, so I decided to try it, and I've had a good time with it.
Have the ability to passively extract resources from planets and ship them off to other players for crafting or profit as well. But that whole crafting system is looking like it's probably not going to be in the game for at least another several months. Salvage is similar to mining but different. It's not as developed, but actually does let you take some missions to gain some reputation from factions. But without the underlying crafting system I just mentioned, the complexity of Salvage is also lost. Just like with mining, you'll have ship and FPS options for the gameplay. You can scrape the hull off of armored panels or shipwrecks that you find around the star system. You can jump to various locations, scan around for signatures, hone in on your target, and collect material for money. You can also disintegrate the hull to get different material. But this whole process is stunted by the fact that physical damage and deformation isn't yet in the game, and therefore crunching up the hull has been replaced by a pretty boring, simple button press to do quite a bit of work. But some people enjoy Salvage for this reason. It offers the most calming method of making money in the game that acts as a bit of like a power washing simulator in space. And more recently, the ability to actually strip the components out of the ships, the quantum drive power supply and shield components, and throw them into your own cargo hold and sell them for a ton of credits has become a reality. This was a big change this game was waiting for, and while it's not true with every ship you'll find, we're getting there. So there is...
I want to say I really like this guy's videos. I would subscribe to his channel. I'm going to give this video a like right away. Because it's very well made. This guy's channel's called Space Tomato Gaming, and all his videos are about space games, which I'm not super into. So I don't really want to see any more after seeing this video, but I think it's very detailed, it's very in-depth, and it has a lot of information. I do think Star Citizen has things that are really cool. Like, imagine if you can break people's wagons and then you can harvest the wheels, or you can harvest this and, you know, salvage some parts of like a forest path wagon and then sell them on market. I think I really enjoy the fact that you can break down aspects like, oh, look, here's a power core to a ship. I'm going to throw that in my bank, and then I can turn smaller power cores from smaller ships into larger ones. Or I think it's a really unique, awesome aspect to the game that everything is built off of basic components, and you could break down those components. I think other games would benefit from something like this. I think that if you get a really rare item in the game, like let's say that that Sov weapons required Black Star materials and some other materials that you needed to get in order to craft Sov weapons, that if a boss dropped pen, you know, Black Star, whatever, instead of marketing it, you could break it down and use that to craft a different Black Star, or that you can use it to put toward, you know, Fallen God armor, or like breaking down end game items or items at any level in a game into basic materials that are the building blocks for other higher upgrade things. Like, let's be real, a sword in a video game, right? Let's say that the sword was made out of steel or whatever, that you can break down other steel weapons or steel armors into steel ore and then melt that into bars and use to recraft some other items that are of the same material types. I think that would be a really big win for kind of crafting gear and equipment in games that other games should really fall behind. Was ChatGPT right by recommending BDO? Are you able to stomp the BDO players now? Sirius, it was right in that it was pay to win. You know, I mean, was it really wrong? I think that it was solid, bro. Because when you look at the fact that I've killed 87k mobs in my career in BDO, and this is my Sage's gear, I think that it was not wrong. I like that I'm able to achieve this gear without having to put in the excessive amount of hours that other players put in to achieve similar gear. I like that system. I like that I have all the maids, I have the tent, I have all of these comforts. So it is a very pay to win game. I enjoy it. I really like it. And it's able to mitigate the amount of time that I spend on the game. Like right now, I don't have to be grinding. Because if another sale drops, I'm going to get another 100 to 150k crons. I'm going to tap my gear, and I'm going to be able to keep up with people that play the game way more than me or outpace them. Right now, I currently have a lot higher gear score than people that have put in much, much more time into the game. Like, there's people that have, for comparison's sake, that have a million mobs killed, and I only have 87k mobs killed, and that's out, bro. I've grinded for hours and hours in this game, and I've only got 87k. People that have like a million defeated mobs and have less gear than me is a testament to the fact that it is pay to win, and that you can have fun with it, honestly. Have you seen the best game ever made? Satisfactory review. What is that? I don't know what that is, but I'll have to check that out. Let me just take a peek at that link. See what
is the difference?
How Satisfactory hacks your brain. I'll have to look at that video at a different time because I only have about 40 minutes left on today before I have to go operate the shop. And then we'll be playing some Magic the Gathering live, some IRL streaming, specifically on Twitch. For those of you watching from YouTube, we'll be back. And we'll have an all Twitch stream somewhere today. It'll probably go for a couple hours, and you'll be able to see the shop, and some of the customers are going to come in and play with me and stuff. So it'll be pretty fun. And no micro purchases mod and private server friendly. I think it won a Steam award the first 3 months of full release. It did have a beta and alpha for like the last 6 years. I'm gonna have to check that out, Fallen. I don't know what game that is. What's it called? Add it to the bank. Throw it in. I always recommend, guys, if you go ahead and join my Discord. I just put in the command. Moobot just gave a Discord link. You join our Discord. I have a section called Other Games. If you post some videos there in the Other Games section, I'll take a look at it, and if it makes sense to me, I'll review it like I'm doing Star Citizen. Or if you guys moan about it enough, I'll give it a review and see what I think about it and give you some inputs on how it compares to other games. Good to know you're enjoying the game. That's the best way to play the game. 100% spend or not spend is really not that relevant as long as you enjoy. That's good enough. That's a fact, Zurius. I think that we all play games to have fun. And a lot of people criticize the way that I play games, but ultimately, if I'm having fun and I'm having a good time doing it, why not do it that way?
Some growing complexity to this gameplay. You'll also get different vistas to see while you travel, and different jobs with different priorities, which can satisfy certain types of players. But just like mining, the wrecks are missing their specific material assignments, like steel, iron, and titanium, the components that each ship was made from. So there's not a great market for looking for a specific material and then trying to sell that in mass. Cargo hauling and trading, of course, suffer from a lackluster economy as well, but it's actually a pretty novel experience. Of course, you'll be visiting different planets, moons, and space stations to find different pricing on various objects to buy and sell, but you also get the choice of manually loading the boxes into your ship yourself or with fellow crew. If that's not your style, major locations will load and unload the cargo for you for a fee. This is that choice and consequence bit coming back in. Different ships will store their cargo differently, or be better geared for lower capacity trips. It'll be up to you to decide how you want to do it and what's most important. Speed through external storage, protection through an internal cargo bay, or the highest capacity with a true space truck. You can progress through reputation in this career path and find unique opportunities to ship freight for companies without putting your own money at risk. And as the game progresses, more types of cargo are meant to highlight more types of ships. Combat.
That's really cool. I like that. I like the BDO aspect of being able to load your horse and then get on the horse. And, you know, obviously that's redundant now with maids being a situation and weight being a situation. But I like that BDO offers that for like new players or people that are not trying to pay to win right away, that you can load your horse and then kind of ride it back kind of situation. I would like to see mounts have carriages in World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft opted for extremely large bag sizes, which, you know, I don't understand. I think if they added like chariots or wagons or something to World of Warcraft, and when you were going out and collecting materials, you could just hop on your 2 or 4 horse wagon and then kind of like go to the next spot, collect materials. You can keep a bunch of shit in your wagon. That would be awesome. Now think about how chaotic that would be on a PvP server. If I could kill you, I could destroy your wagon, or I could raid it and then have access to a percent of what you gathered. Like, let's say if I killed you and I broke your wagon, I'd be able to take 10% of the stuff that you have in it at random, regardless of rarity of materials. And then if you ran back to your body, you respawned and you repaired your wagon and kept on farming, you would have lost 10% of your materials, but you'd still be able to continue adding more, and you would have all of this massive cargo space that you could play with while you were gathering in the game. I think that would add an extremely interesting take. There would be a new class of PvP player that would make their money by getting really geared, really good at PvP, and then just going out and hunting people. I am a huge fan of old school RuneScape's Wilderness, where none of the items are bound to your character, yet they could be very rare items that are worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, that make you really powerful in real life and in game. And then you could go out into dangerous zones where there's a greater probability or possibility of loot. And then if you die there, you lose something, right? Some Ragnarok Online private servers also made PvP areas where people could go and test their metal. But if you died, there was like a 10% chance of you dropping a piece of gear, like as is. We're talking about fully refined and upgraded, fully enchanted, fully card slotted end game gear. Like, let's say that they made a PvP arena that was free for all in BDO, where you went in and you killed people, and every time you died or killed someone, there would be a 10% chance, much like breaking a crystal, where you would just die and drop, in my case, like a Tet Fallen God armor. That would be crazy. You want to talk about PvP meta and bringing PvP back. If they made a really high stakes battle arena where people could go in and constantly just kill each other and beat each other, and there's a 10% chance every time you get a kill that you would be getting this crazy endgame piece of gear, I think that would turn the game upside down, bro. Like, it would be revolutionary, and I think it would do really good, and I think it would satisfy the PvP meta that has been dissatisfied for so long in BDO. And I think only the top, strongest, high-risk players would go in there and test their mettle, and it could provide for the top players, for the tip of the spear, a viable way of grinding and making money in BDO. If you go in there and you kill 20 people and you die twice and you didn't lose any gear, but you ended up getting 2 pieces of, like, let's say, Tet Fallen God armor, that would be a phenomenal high-risk grind. I think that there should be high-risk grinding in all aspects of the game. Like, imagine if you were life-skilling at a zone that had the highest, silver you could make, period. But if you got killed in that zone, you would drop like 20% of the materials you collected. The PvP players would be eating it up, and the PvE players would try to be sneaking around, running around, doing things like that because they want like the highest silver per hour yield in this area that just revolutionizes and adds an aspect to the game that is not seen before. This is something Arcade had. You craft trade packs and people can steal it on a ship or cart. See, Monikaya, I think that's a really awesome concept. I think that's awesome. Early days BDO people used to use wagons and store their loot in grind zones, and then you could destroy their wagon. Feel strong, man. Yeah, I think you should be able to loot them a little bit, at least 10%. 10% is a good number, Too much catering to Care Bears now. People would be pissed losing a Tet armor. But not if they went into a very specific zone known for this behavior. I think people would enjoy it. Erk's like, fuck losing crystals. If I die, I want to know your account password. Run your account, big dog. Fallen, bro. I've played a lot of games like this, and I've had endless fun, man. I used to PvP in row private servers and literally hunt people for their gear, and I've lost a couple times. I've lost pieces of gear that I worked 3 months to attain, and then it was like, oh shit, I lost it. If I don't have money to rebuy it or re-upgrade it, then that was that, bro. You had to make a choice. Either you go hunt some more and hope you're good, and then there was a clan war aspect too, and there was a guild aspect to it where you go into these zones with your guild and your boys, and it's like 5 of you versus 7 of them, and and it's high risk, high stakes PvP, and I think it's extremely enticing. And if WoW added a system like that, I would be in there, bro. If WoW added a place where I can go in and like lose my high warlord gear, I think I'd do it. I think I would. And then I'd have to just regrind it back up if I needed to. Keep the honor grind, and it also extends the life of the game. Like, it takes like 500 to 600 hours nonstop PvP to achieve high warlord gear like I have in WoW. And if somebody killed me and took an item that was going to take me 80 hours of grind to get back, that would be exciting, especially if I could do it to somebody else, And then if you take a loss and you go back in there with a lesser gear in that slot and try to take it off somebody else kind of situation, I think it's exciting, and it reinvests in the PvP grind, right? Because right now, once you achieve high warlord in classic, you're done. Like, there's no reason for me to go into battlegrounds other than stomping other people. Like, I have achieved the highest PvP gear in the game, and There's just nothing other than world PvP now. I can just randomly kill people all around while I'm dungeoning or helping somebody or whatever, and that's all it is. There's no real risk, you know. There's not even a risk of downgrading. Like, I was a high warlord, I got downgraded to warlord, then to whatever lieutenant. I'm a champion rank right now in WoW because I've been getting dishonorable kills, killing all of the alliance's NPCs and flight masters and quest givers, and I've just been on a rampage. And other than losing the title, my rank has downgraded. My gear remains high warlord, so I don't care about, like, I'm gonna go back to being a private. You know, I'm just gonna kill everything that moves, and there's no real gear risk, or I have no reason to re-enter the PvP grind. And I think that would cancel out a lot. Like, if you go into PvP now, everybody's a high warlord. Everybody has the best PvP gear in the game. And that kind of sucks that there's no way for them to lose that status anymore as far as a power level. I think that there needs to be things in the game that certain players can choose to partake in where they'll lose that. And then you have these high warlord monsters that are really good at PvP that are going back in there with a little bit lesser gear, missing 2 or 3 pieces of gear, trying to regrind the gear that they lost in high risk PvP. It adds another gear gamba aspect to the game that I think would be refreshing. Yeah, you can still play Arcade on private servers, and some people live off just PvP, only stealing people's trade packs. Munikaya, exactly. That's the games that I've played that have had a high risk kind of, you have to risk your gear PvP system, are really fun. And old school RuneScape still has like Castle Wars and Soul Wars, and has all these different mini games that you can play and PvP safely. As long as you have safe PvP avenues where people can enjoy it, that's good. You give them an alternative, you give them an option. But for those that are trying to scratch an itch, like the big known red players in BDO, I think it would be really good to add a high stakes version of it for them.
It's honestly pretty straightforward. You get the choice of ship or FPS combat at the moment, with vehicles being useful at times but not necessary. You can take part in spaceship boarding parties, underground bunker assaults, factory raids, and outpost excursions across both the Stanton and Pyro systems. These are supported by missions, reputation, and a pretty wide variety of firearms and environments, including 0G. If you're more the ship type, you can take bounties that are either NPCs or players, but it's basically just finding and killing marked targets. It's a basic gameplay.
And this is the issue that I find with Star Citizen and games like this. If you're going to be an FPS game, be an FPS game. When you try to mix FPS with ship combat, I don't think you do a good job. I don't think you do a good job at either. So as of right now, I don't think I'll ever play this game. I don't think it's good enough for me to commit to. It doesn't look exciting enough. 12 years into production, there's just not enough there. You know, I think that games like Destiny give you the space aspect with a hard focus on being a first-person shooter. The shooting looks really clunky. It looks really undesirable in this game. The space battles look okay. They don't look super desirable or fun. It doesn't sing my tune, you know. It's not a game that I'm like, oh man, I really want to play this game. It looks freaking amazing. There's just too much left to be desired with this game. And again, 12 years, and this is what you have to offer. And somebody said there's like, they've got like $1 billion that they've accumulated from people buying ships and buying things from pay to win. I'm not vibing with it, man. I'm not loving it.
You can progress through the ranks to eventually take on a full Idris carrier with escorts. It's basically a whole battle between you, some friends, and a bunch of NPCs. It can be a really cool reward for getting through the progression tree, and a good look at some of the larger scale gameplay this game is going to offer. There are also ship escort missions and FPS bounties in caves around the verse. There's a lot left to come in the realm of combat, even in the next couple updates, but that's the story at the time of publishing.
Here's a revolutionary concept, right? Let me read this chat real quick. Monika says, yeah, you don't lose gear. It's just packs you craft and sell for gold to NPCs For the carry packs, like BDO, it's more like risky because PvP. Okay, that makes sense. Here's something I've never seen in FPS games, and I love FPS games. I love Apex Legends. I liked BO4 was my favorite Call of Duty. Call of Duty did it for a little bit where if you shot somebody and you downed them, they could have a perk called Last Stand where they pull out a pistol and they're kind of dragging themselves on the floor really slowly, and they could still kill you with that pistol, right? I think that when an FPS game drops a game that is a little bit more realistic, that like if I focus my shots on your leg, or like if your leg is poking out but the rest of your body's hidden behind a crate or something, if I shoot your leg and do enough damage, I could break your leg or like disable your leg, and then your character has to drag on the other leg and move slower but is still able to shoot and down and kill people. I think that would make for a really interesting game. We would see some crazy clips of people like losing both legs and just kind of like elbow dragging and still dropping other people, and you would see players that could go like 1v6 or 1v7, where they take 3 people down, lose a leg, they're kind of hobbling through the map, they take 2 more people down. I think that would be really interesting. And there's already a layout for damage points. Like headshots do different damage than body shots, than leg shots. Like if you shoot center mass, you do a certain amount of damage. If you get headshots, you do a certain amount of damage. And then if you shoot the limbs, you do less damage. I think that that could be really useful and revolutionary in FPS games, and no one has done it so far. So the closest it's been is like Last Stand in Call of Duty. Damn, my boy, 15 minutes into the video after 2 hours. Bro, I think I've gone off on a lot of good points about a lot of different games and things that I think would be improvements. Isn't that Tarkov? I've never played Tarkov Fallen. I've never played Tarkov or Rust. So I can't really speak on those games, but I know they've been really successful and a lot of people love them.
Racing is not the first thing you'd think of in a space-based MMO, but both ship and ground racing flourish in Star Citizen through pre-made missions around the universe, player-run events like the Daymar Rally, and even closed courses in Arena Commander mode. This is sort of private servers' traditional arena-style gameplay mode we'll talk about later, but you'll find that the racing community is actually really vibrant and enthusiastic in Star Citizen, and while the experience itself is changing quite a bit with the flight...
I think I'm not a Rust stream would hit. Hey, man, I might try it, bro. I might try it. The gameplay you're describing is Tarkov up to the part where if you did lose everything, you dropped with. Okay. What's good, Godric? What's up, brother? Again, this is a miss for me, bro. This is a miss for me. I think that if I like went here and I put like Destiny Racing, maybe there's a video on it. The closest we'll get to Sparrow Racing League in Destiny 2. Let's see. Bro, if you just look at a game like Destiny, it just looks better, bro. The world space, the way the game is built, it just, as a space game, it just looks better. It's more polished. It's way nicer than Star Citizen for me. And I just wouldn't play Star Citizen if Destiny is an option, bro. The PvP of Tarkov is fast. I might have to try it, man. I might have to try it, honestly. And then as an FPS game, right? So, like, let's say you go... Even if you just played, like, Iron Banner in Destiny, right? Like, even the shooting, dude. Let me see if somebody has a bunch of join the Discord spams. Is somebody actually, like, PvPing, bro? Why does every video have joined the Discord. This guy, whoever this guy is, bro, is just like hard
Join
spamming.
the Discord, link down in the description.
I'm going to mute the videos just in case they're playing music. I don't get copyright stricken or anything. But just look at how awesome the game looks, bro. Like the gear, the characters, it's seamless, it's nice. Is this guy actually going to do any PvP? Yeah, like as a first-person shooter, it looks way better than Star Citizen, man. Like it's just nice, right? And even like the PvE content, right? If you put like Destiny 2 Raid, right? They have like Crota's End game guide. Let me see. Like Taken King is one that I rated all the time. This guy's like an hour long. But even the PvE content, King's final raid boss. Yeah, so like this is a good one, right? Like the actual boss fights and stuff. The shooting just feels way better, bro. You know, it looks nicer. As an FPS game, this by far does way better than these are not great video examples, bro. There's so much more combat in the game. But it just feels way better as a first-person shooter than Star Citizen as a space game. The graphics are awesome, bro. The movement is really nice. Like, when there's games like this, why would somebody try the other one? If they made it just like a space thing, like EVE Online or something, then maybe it would be different. I'm not a huge fan of the space games, but Destiny's one that really did it for me. I had a lot of fun playing this game. I played it since like Destiny 1 all the way to this, to like the Taken King. It was really, really fun. And I think Star Citizen just misses that. U5 looks way better. Okay. TFD is the unofficial child of Destiny and Warframe. What is TFD? Law is a second encounter of Scourge of the past. These cheap devs really don't make anything these days, do they? I kind of feel the same way, Fallen. Like there's a lot to be desired with games nowadays that is just not there. But with that, let's go ahead and I wanted to prep my Sage real quick. I think on Monday, what we're going to do is we're going to do loot scrolls because apparently they are a ton of money right now. And I said this, right? Check out some of their Gooner trailers if you want. TFD equals the first descendant. What is that all about? I was going to prep my guy for doing relic scrolls, but let me look this up real quick. A year ago, so all the videos seem to be from like a year ago. Let me see if I can filter this. Let's see if I put this year. Damn, all the videos are from like 11 months ago, 6 months ago. Let's take a look at that real quick. Let me make sure real quick that my Sage isn't just sitting on buffs. Okay, there we go. This looks very Destiny-like. This looks like a Destiny clone, but the gear looks absolutely amazing. Dude, even the little diamond, bro, this is Destiny. What are you talking about, bro? Okay, the only issue that I have with it is that it's not a real first-person shooter. It's a third-person shooter. And if that can't be changed, I'm not a huge fan of third-person shooters, honestly. Let's get some volume in this.
Glad you're safe.
I'm just getting warmed up.
No need to brag. Come on, let's keep going.
This game looks really nice, I'm going to be honest with you. I just hate that it's third person. Bro. The structures are the same. The caves are the same. The little green diamonds are the same. Like the follow me paths are the same. It's a fun looter shooter is what you guys are saying. Okay. They said it's a mix of Destiny and Warframe. The first Ascendant died hard, dude. It's a thirst trap. Yeah, like for me, if it was a first-person shooter, I'd be down. I'm just not a huge fan of third-person shooters. Yeah, I have like 2,000 relic shards. Scrolls written in ancient language. What the hell does that mean, bro? Let me go on my other character. Also not an MMO. Okay. Doesn't take much time to get endgame. Okay. So it looks like it washed, you know? So you're saying buy what? They're called written in scrolls. Scrolls written in ancient language. Are these better than Okay, I'll buy these. Why not? Well, there's now 12,000 of these for sale. And you're saying I can make money off these now, right? I'm not just dumping all my money away, right? They're faster to do. Okay, you need about 1,000 per hour. Okay. I'm going to trust you guys because I said this for a long time. I said, hey, why don't I do all these, you know, ancient relic scrolls or whatever, you know? And everyone was like, no, those are garbage. The gold per hour sucks. But I've been tooting this song for a long time, bro. I've been saying like, hey, why don't I buy a ton of these to get a ton of memory frags and make money that way? And people say it's not a viable way of making money. Fallen says, I'm free. I'll do them with you. 100% money to be made. I've been waiting on a damn hour for Pig Cave to open. Damn the Pig Cave. I'm going to have to do these on my Monday stream, Fallen, just because. Am I out of money yet? I can buy like 500 more. Not enough silver. Okay, never mind. I'm completely out of silver. So I now have 9,000 ancient relic crystal shards, and you said it's about 1,000 per hour. So I have enough for a full start to finish Monday stream. So we are going to test this, and we're going to make a video of it on Monday. Oh, my capacity's exceeded. That's awesome. I've been storing these in Velia, I believe. I think they're in Velia. Yeah, I have 9K ancient relic crystal shards and 200 of these ancient language ones. So on Monday, we're going to do all of these, and we're going to see if I can recover all of the money that I have spent on them. So we're going to do some quick math, right? On Monday, we're going to start the stream with some math of how much all of this cost. And then we're going to do some math on how much money we made off all of it and how many hours it took to do it all. So Monday is going to be a really long Ancient Relic Crystal Shard stream. And then we're going to make it into a YouTube video and see if it really is a legitimate and viable, chill, relaxing way of making some good silver. Erkulez, when are you releasing your guide on how to gear up pay to win fast method? No one's making that guide. How many mems do you make per hour? I have no idea, Z. We're going to find out on Monday. We get a Garmoth heart on Wednesday. That's awesome. You need to divide that by 5 because you need 5 per 1 scroll since you make them out of them. Okay. You make about 35 mems per 5 scrolls, 35 times 4 mil. How many ever you want to do? Okay. So I have to put these together and make scrolls. Do the scrolls have a timer? Can I just combine them all into scrolls right now, or should I be combining them as I do them? Equals profit. Okay. Oh, they do have a timer. Okay, so do not combine them now. Oh, they have a 1 week timer. 1 week's not bad though. 1 week is definitely doable. Didn't they remove the timer? And do they stack? That's the other question, right? So like, do the scrolls themselves stack or do they not stack? Because I could just convert them all now. Yeah, but not everyone has 10K. Combine them when you do them. Okay, let's take a look. I just want to see how it works. And can I do them anywhere? That's the other great question here. Okay, so I think the intro to this video is actually going to be, let me see. I think the intro to this video, it is the 7th, right? Okay, so let's make a quick intro for the Star Citizen review video. Okay, so Monday, July 7th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be making a video and I will be testing a theory. I have 9,059 Ancient Relic Crystal Shards, which I've been told is a very viable way of making money pretty quickly. We are going to be testing that theory and making a video on it on Monday. And I have 200 of these scrolls written in ancient language. So we are going to calculate how much it costs per scroll and how much we get per scroll. And then we're going to average it out over the entire stream's duration to see if this is a viable way of making money. So tune in Monday, July 7th, if you'd like to see that. If not, a couple days later, you'll catch the video on YouTube and we'll edit it really nicely for you and make sure that there are breakdowns, cost versus profit and time investment to see if this may be a viable strategy for a lot of you. I've just purchased about 7,000 of these from Central Market. And I believe there are still some more. There's about 6,000 left on market right now if some of you would like to try this method out. But I will be creating a video and letting you know if this is a viable farm in BDO currently. That was the intro for the Star Citizen review video. So how do you do the Yaz pouch, right? So I just have to like, how do you do this? You just make it into a cross pretty much. And then you hit combine. Okay. Okay, the scroll has a 1 week timer on it, and then if I was to do that again, is there a more effective way of doing this? Well, I guess I could do like 3 at a time, right? I could do like 3. Okay, cool. There is a more effective way. And they do not stack, so they will entirely consume my inventory. Okay. And then how does this work? And that's it? You just do the one scroll? I can't combine these? Can I combine these or no? I did use my instant level 61 character on my Wukong, which is currently tagged with my Sage. So I've already used that. Yes, 5K came from me. Thank you for your patronage, Erks. Fallen, I swear, bro, don't try me. You told me to do this crap, and then you sold them all on market. No way, bro. Hi, YouTube, says Mash. What's up, brother? What's up? Only specific area. How does that work? Available from level 50. How do I use this thing? Go to the marked location. So I have to be there to summon it. That is in Calpheon territory. Okay, I think I'm going to park my character there. Why the hell is it nighttime, brother? Oh. Okay, just put them all in. When you do them, don't make the cross. Just slap them all in. You're going to put 5 into the summoning relic at once. Okay, so I'm going to put 5 scrolls into the summoning relic at once. What's level 61 level item? Yes, you. Okay. Where's my horse, dude? Haven't done Relic since 2019. Surprised he didn't improve the combining. Hey, man, they improve what they can. The boys are trying out here, man. They're trying their damn best. Laugh. Yep, no one does the one at a time. Okay, so when you do like a few of them, does it like... Oh, crap. So how does it work when you do like 5 at a time or 3? How many did you guys say? 5 into the summoning. So you do 5 at a time. Does that summon 5 bosses instead of 1? I don't understand. Of course, my guy's stuck in a damn hut over here. And there goes my GPU melting. Fill the Yaos pouch, like put them all in. 5 times give you the hardest boss. Okay. So you're saying I need to put... Oh, dude, my horse is going to die again. Frick, dude. And it's nighttime, bro. Like, this is horrible, yo. Unreal, man. I forgot how to whistle the horse. Call mount. There we go. Oh, my God. Thank goodness. Whoops. That's a Kaffir stone. There we go. No, bro. I'm hell-bent on killing my horse, I swear. I don't even have my shark suit, bro. I'm learning, guys. I called him out. He's going to die this time for real, though, no? I can't call them out here. Oh, my God, dude. No way. Did I just fail that? Was that a big fat fail? Can I call my mount here? Please, horse. Stop drowning. Come to me. Oh, we survive. We survive, boys. Dude, it's freaking nighttime. I can't see shit here, bro. Yo, this is horrible, dude. Yo, you know horses can swim, bro. Horses can swim. What's wrong with this damn game, dude? Call horse again. Nah, my guy's whistling fingers are done for right now. I really hate nighttime in BDO, bro. Like, I can't see anything. What the hell is this garbage? Oh, I love pitch blackness. This is crazy. Max out gamma and contrast. Brother, I fear for my GPU right now. A 4080 should not be taking this massive beating on BDO. Dude, I can't even see where there's water properly, so like I keep diving off cliffs, man. Oh no, that's water. Stop the horse. Damn it, bro. Yo, this horse is suicidal, bro. No, now my guy doesn't know how to swim. Get up the rock. The horse is dying. Oh my god, dude. Can I make that flight over there? Yo, stop it! Stop it, dude. I hate it here. Get your monkey ass up there, Wukong. Yo, this game, dude. I feel sorry for the horse too, Maxi. Escape display settings, effects plus. Okay, hold on, bro. Display settings. Effects. Gamma. Plus 25. Contrast. Minus 25. Yo, brother just revolutionized the game for me. I've been using those stupid fireflies, bro. I've been using those stupid fireflies my whole damn life over here, bro. I could have just done that. Thank you, Laugh. Thank you. Optimization is in work right now, bro. Guru Horse Rider. Yo. Getting roasted. Bro enjoys nighttime now. No, bro. You just revolutionized the game for me, bro. No, 100%. This is 1,000 times better, bro. I just hope that I don't have to... Well, even if I have to adjust it, bro, during the day, this is way better. This is so much nicer, man. I'm getting flashbanged at sunrise, more than likely. That's what's going to happen. I just want to get my character to... And I need to get my horse off my damn Wukong, bro. This dude has no business having a horse. Is there a stable nearby, bro? Please tell me there's a stable nearby. Thank goodness, bro. Thank goodness. I need to give my Sage the horse, bro. Stupid Wukong is like Kodak, bro. Let me drive the boat. Don't know how to drive the boat.
Would you like...
Recover my horse, please. Don't ask what happened to it. Just recover the damn thing. Oh, my Wukong's horse riding skills like -5, bro. Man. So I don't like Wukong. I like Wukong as like a, I'm going to fly around on my Nimbus and combos. I, however, do not like that the Wukong is weak as hell, bro. It just cannot compare to my Sage when it comes into like... efficiency of grinding or playing or anything of that nature, bro. It's just not as good as my Sage, bro. I really thought it was going to be a Sage replacement, but Sage is the first character I ever tried, and it doesn't look like anything is going to dethrone it anytime soon, bro. My Sage is just super goated, man. Whoops, excuse me. Remember, you don't need to make the relics in a cross. Load up your Yaz bag and hit the plus sign and how many scrolls you want to make. Yes, I agree. They do need to add HP recovery. For some skills, only need the skills that got HP recovery. Okay, so this is where you do the thing. And you said you just do 5 at a time, right? So I would need like 1 more of these. What if I just want 1, bro? Okay, there you go. Whatever. So then you guys are saying, do you need to be buffed for this at all? Do you need drops buffs for this or no? And then how do you do this thing? Stage 5. That's all I gotta do? Oh my gosh. You need 3 to start up to 5. Nah, put scrolls in each box. Okay, so I put 5 in one box. Was that bad? So was I supposed to like... And I just gotta kill this guy? Damn, this thing's pretty strong. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Lots of HP on mobs. Damn, this thing is beefy, bro. Holy smokes, this thing's immortal, dude. And they can't really kill me with this gear score, right? What is full SA? Damn, that thing put me on my ass, dude. So none of these guys are dropping loot, only the boss, right? Yo, this thing is immortal, dude. Okay, doing it in a party makes it faster. And a party of 3 to 5 people, you said? Back attack times 2 for damage. It's almost dead. Okay, so it looks like it gave me 77k silver, 5 memory frags, and 9 of these potions. Yo, what the hell is this? I thought it was over. I have to fight another boss? What is this garbage? Two more bosses? Oh no, I've overstayed my visit. I don't have time for 2 more bosses. Ah, I can only stream till 12 today. This guy's got to die quickly. Any of you, otherwise I would help you. Oh man, I'm cooked right now. And how many people in party again? I can do this with 3 people or 5 people? Minimum 3? What about maximum? 5? Okay. Does that affect my loot at all, or loot is individual? Orange means you can't be knocked. I feel like this guy was less tanky. This guy was easier to kill. Okay, then that gave me some more memory frags. Okay. That's not bad. You can do damage if you put in a scroll. Oh, you can only do damage if you put in a scroll. So essentially, I put in my 5 scrolls, and then other people put in their 5 scrolls, and then we activate it once all the slots are filled with scrolls. Wait for the track star. What is that? Yo, this guy is super annoying, bro. He just keeps running away. Get wrecked, noob. Get back here. Uh-oh, he went red. Yo, this guy's a runner, bro. Oh, this is the track star. Yeah, I'm testing out the Relic right now, Renzi, because on Monday I'm going to be doing like 9,000 fragments, bro. And testing it as a viable means of making gold or silver. No, this guy just keeps running away. What an annoyance this character is, bro. And he keeps dazing me. This is by far the boss I hate the most. The second boss was easy, man. He's almost dead, though. Come on, let's finish him right here. No! What is with this dude, bro? Alright, that was it, right? So I got 24 memory frags. A little bit of trash loot that I can exchange for things. Okay. I got rough rubies and whatever these huge spears are. 10k relics is serious bread. Is it? Don't you want to grind in Gyfin? I think Kaffir prices would go high. I'm not sure. On Monday, 30 bill in a day. 30 bill or more. You think so? And I would just have to sell memory frags, right? So, essentially... You guys are sure about this now? So, what you're saying is, technically, I should buy more of them, right? So I can sell all of my current memory frags. Right? 2, thank you for the follow, brother. Appreciate you. 30 bills insane, though. If that's possible, I'll join you for sure. Turuk, we are not enhancing today. We're trying to figure out this this money-making method. Memory frags, there seems to be a ton of them, bro. So what you're saying is I should sell my memory frags right now and then buy more of these things. Buy Blessing of Mystic Beast for plus 15 buff to. What does that mean? Make a 5-man party for Relic. It's faster. 500 relics will be only like 30 minutes. Okay. Don't forget you had to go. Oh, shit. Yeah, I gotta go. Damn. But big love, chat. I have to run. I have to go open my store. Let me see who I can hit with a quick raid. If anyone has a suggestion, please let me know. See who I can hit with a quick raid. If anyone has a from the people that I'm following, let's see who's on right now. The usual suspect. We're gonna hit Lunai with a raid / raid. Lunai BDO. Lunai probably has an alarming amount of them as well. So I'm going to let Lunai know real quick that I'm going to be doing this on Monday and dropping a video. Oh, you guys gave me some suggestions. Damn it, my bad, guys. Hey, love y'all. On Monday, we're going to do 9K of these or more. So let's check it out. I will catch you all Monday at 9 a.m. See you there.